Hello there everyone, it's TIJ or Toby and welcome to the first episode of something completely new on the channel. It's a second series I've done on FM18 after my Liverpool beta save, and today it's the start of the RB Leipzig save, as you guys voted for a few weeks back in that You Decide video for the FM18 team. We had Dortmund, we had Sporting, we had Leipzig, we had Liverpool as well, we had Lyon, and we had somebody else. I think it was AC Milan, that's the one. But you guys picked, I think it was something like 7 or 8 votes for RB Leipzig, because that's the team we're going to go with. Well, it's going to be an adventure, I think it's fair to say, because I've never managed in the Bundesliga on FM at all. I think I did a short stint with Dortmund, but to be quite honest, nothing to the extent of this. So it's going to be a complete new adventure. If you're if you know all about German football, I can only apologise for my lack of knowledge about German football. But I'm going to try and learn, and if you guys don't know anything about German football, this is just the save to watch, to learn with me, whilst we play through these few years at Leipzig. Now, the aim at Leipzig is a little bit different to the Liverpool side. The Liverpool side is to 2 seasons, try and win the league and whatever. This is going to go in 2 separate ways. It's either going to go one way, in which we sort of win the league in the first 2 or 3 years with Leipzig, and we get bored with this club, so we move to somewhere else in the same world, but it's a different club. I'm just checking the OBS recording. That it's a different club. Or we have a struggle with Leipzig. We're sort of in the top 4. We're kind of like Arsenal in real life. Apologies to any Arsenal fans if you're offended, but we sort of then want to make the push. But as you can see in real life, obviously Leipzig only founded in 2009, and they've been absolutely going onwards and upwards ever since then. And of course, last season they finished 2nd in the Bundesliga. Maybe we can go one better this season, who knows? But let's get straight into it. Of course, the Bundesliga only has 18 teams according to the Premier League's 20 teams. Now, of course, Bayern have won the trophy 5 years on the trot. And the other teams that you might recognise in there, familiarity-wise, is Dortmund, Leverkusen, obviously Leipzig, Wolfsburg maybe, Schalke, obviously Bayern I've just said, and then there's like Werder Bremen, Borussia Mönchengladbach, Hanover. There's quite a lot of good teams in there, and then there's also quite a lot of familiar teams in the second Bundesliga as well. Ingolstadt were in the Bundesliga once, I think. I've recognised that now, Nuremberg, Dusseldorf, and there's also, if you're watching Alex, hello, your favourite team, St. Pauli in there. I might just do a St. Pauli video just to annoy him when we batter them in the cup or something. But anyway, our first game in the Leipzig side is against Arminia Bielefeld or Bielefeld, I'm not quite sure, in the DFB Pokal, and basically it's the German equivalent to the League Cup or the FA Cup. The winner gets into the Europa League, so it's quite a good competition to go into. These are in the second Bundesliga, but we're going to play a full-strength squad against them today. Then in our first game, which we'll play later in the episode, play Hoffenheim in the Bundesliga. Now, of course, with the Bundesliga, there's a gap over Christmas, which will be quite a weird one to feel. So over Christmas, obviously, you'll just jump forward an episode to when we get to January, which is quite weird. But let's talk about the few transfers we made so far. Obviously, inevitably, Naby Keita is going to be leaving to get to Liverpool. It's quite odd because it's the opposite effect. In my Liverpool save, we're quite looking forward to Keita coming to Liverpool, whereas in this save, he's going to be leaving, unfortunately. But we've still got him for this season. And we've made 4 transfers in. I don't know who that is. Corbinian Lex. A 15-year-old, I think, that the head of youth development brought in. Then we brought in a goalkeeper, Tino Horn, from Cologne. I thought it was very important we had a German goalkeeper with age on his side and, an established goalkeeper, clearly established at Cologne. And we hadn't really got that much in terms of good goalkeepers. We've got Mavogo and Galatsky as well, but they're getting on a bit. So we wanted to get someone who's consistent, I wanted to say. And then we've also sent our young goalkeeper Philip Cohn out to RB Salzburg out on loan. We also brought in Marko Grujic from Liverpool on loan. He was on loan. He was on the loan list. There weren't really many players on the loan list, and it'd be a good backup option. Then we've also bought Tyler Adams from our sister club, not our sister club, our affiliate club, New York Red Bull, sorry. And he's going back on loan there, but he sort of looked like a really exciting youth prospect with potential ability to be a very good team player. But we'll see over the few years how he develops. And then Tyler Adams, as I said before, has gone back to New York Red Bulls on loan. So if you look at the squad, we've got quite a good squad actually. We've got what Leipzig did is they bought young players to kind of development and a lot of good players. So if we go into the tactics screen actually, the team we're playing today is Timo Horn in goal. We've got Benno Schmitz on the right back position, a 22-year-old right back who can also play on the wing back and then in the middle as well. We've also got then the 2 centre backs at Upamecano, that's going to be a tricky one. I think we'll just call him Deo. And then we've got Villeurbanne, who I recognise, obviously, my Liverpool save. We've got Halstenberg on the left-back position, Ilsanker, Laimer and Naby Keita in the midfield. With Campbell and Forsberg on the wings, and Timo Werner, who probably you've heard of, on the front. And as you can see, it's a massive squad. And we'll have to get rid of a few of these players. Dominic Kaiser is not the captain. Why did I think he was the captain? That's odd. Because I put him in the thumbnail, you see, because I think he's the captain. But apparently Villeurbanne is the captain. I don't know if that's the case in real life or not, but anyway, let's just get straight to this game. I've rambled on enough. The one peculiar thing I want to tell you about, though, is that Timo Horn wants to be a sweeper keeper on attack. That just does not favour me at all. I don't like playing sweeper keepers on attack. I don't like playing sweeper keepers at all, to be quite honest. I've just noticed that I'm quite low on the webcam, so I will sit up a bit and not be rude. But yeah, there's a few players that are lacking match sharpness. There's been a few injuries on the pre-season front, but that's inevitable. But the players are pretty fit, and here we go. They're playing a 4-2-3-1. No players that admittedly I can say I recognise, but it's our first game with Leipzig, so let's see what's going to happen. And I think we're just going to have to be calm, go out there, relax, play your natural game, the result will come. And just got the tunnel interviews. And what I've done in the Liverpool save is, oh god, it's gone with all these camera things, because of course we're starting a new save. The case is with my saves at the moment, until we get to an appropriate points in terms of people actually deciding what sort of highlights they want. I'm showing TV highlights for one game per episode, and then that's on extended, isn't it? I need to put it on key. The 2D Classic in the other game, because they've both got upsides and downsides. Definitely better this season of FM, the 3D cameras. And this is quite weird. This is something I'm not used to at all. Something completely different. Looks like Bielefeld are dominating actually at the moment, which is quite a bit of a worry. But it's going to take the players a bit of time to get used to my tactics. I pretty much play in the new FM. They seem to work with Liverpool anyway. 4-3-2-1 and a 4-2-2-2. For some reason I've put Ilsanker as a defensive midfielder, but I thought that's where he wants to play, so that's fine. Nothing going on in the first half though. Half an hour in to this cup game. Oh, here we go. Right, they put it into the box. It's actually a little bit slow. I think we need to speed it up a tad. There we go, that's better. Right, Keita's in the middle, puts it in to Campbell on the wing. Kevin Campbell, I believe, puts it in. Kevin Campbell puts it in again to Laimer, and Conrad Laimer gets the first goal. And it's a goal on his debut, and if you're interested, I've got a nice vanilla latte as a substitute to the tea that I usually have. I do like a vanilla latte, a bit of a nice taste. I'd recommend it. I think it's a Nescafe, but really I don't care. I think you guys care whatsoever about that. But we're coming up to half-time now. We've got a goal. Could we get two? Forsberg puts it in, and Laimer to Ilsanker, and that was nearly a goal. The goalkeeper just cleared it off the line. We're playing well so far. I don't really think we need to reiterate that there's going to be any opposition really in this game. It's because it seems that sort of, we just want latest event updates rather. There we go. I think they're in the second division, and we are a world apart from them. Not to be offensive, but we are a division apart. I don't think it's like what it's like in England. England, they're genuinely quite close. League 1 and League 2 teams can beat you, but here I don't really think that's the case too much. But we're 1-0 up anyway at half-time. We send the players out for the second half. We might make a few substitutions, because obviously the players are going to be tired. It's their first game of the season at the end of the day. And just remember, if you are confused, that this isn't a league game, this is the cup game in the DFB-Pokal, which if we win that, we get an automatic Europa League place for next year. Now, we're 60 minutes into the game. There's a few players that are quite tired, Conrad Laimer being one of them. Just worried that Grucic hasn't got any match fitness, but we'll put him on anyway. It doesn't particularly matter too much, and he wants to play as an advanced playmaker. That's absolutely fine with me. And we will also bring on Ibrahima Konate for Villeurbanne as a centre of defender on stopper. I don't know obviously what these players prefer to play, so it's all a learning curve. And we'll like the triple substitution with Yusuf Poulsen coming on for Timo Werner, and he's a defensive forward, which is quite confusing, something that I don't usually play with. And at the end of the day, I think these players will just learn to play my system. And if we win this game, it would be a nice start, and as you can see, Wolfsburg 6-0 up with Divock Origi on loan from Liverpool getting 2 of those goals. If you hadn't noticed, by the way, from the top, I'm a Liverpool fan, so if you're getting confused by all these Liverpool references and me bumming Liverpool players, if you like, that's probably not the right word to use, but being positive about Liverpool youth, that's because I'm a Liverpool fan. So just to get that reiterated for any of you new viewers, if you are a new viewer, by the way, folks, make sure to subscribe for this every single day for quite a while yet, of course. And we're going to be going round Europe. The main aim in this, I'm just trying to watch this highlight because I'm quite worried that we might concede here. Oh, it's Dick on the ball. Puts it into, whatever his name is, and it's 1-1. Oh, it's 1-1. I jinxed myself at half-time, didn't I? I said, well, there'll be no opposition from this team. It'll be absolutely fine. Turns out there is. But the plan for this save is not to go to England. I don't want to go to England whatsoever because at the end of the day, I do all my saves in England. So I want just something completely different to challenge myself. Well, it's going to end 1-1 here. I don't know if it goes to extra time, if it's a replay or what. But I'm sure we will know. Yes, it's going to be extra time. Now, we're going to have to give the players a slap on the wrist. Yeah, I'm far from pleased with what I've just seen from the team. Obviously, we've already made a triple sub, so we can't make any more subs, to my understanding anyway. I don't think you can make another substitution. Just as long as we win this, to be quite honest, I'm quite happy. We'll just tweak the formation a little bit. Obviously, the players are getting a bit tired now, that's fair enough. Ball winning midfield and all that sort of stuff. You can be an attack, with Campbell also playing an attack role. I don't like the fact that Paulson is a defensive striker. I don't want that at all. That's not what I'm looking for here. So he will have to sort of get used to my way of playing football because, well, simply he will go. If he doesn't fit my way of football, he will go. He's not indispensable whatsoever. Timo Werner's really our main striker, but of course if Werner does get injured, then we will have to play Paulson on a regular basis unless we bring someone else in. The video length was quite short actually because we've got another game left in this episode. But here we go. They've got a ball in Kloss. And it's nearly a goal for Bielefeld. And it's been quite a confusing game. I've not really been following it too much, just because I was cocky earlier, saying, oh, we're going to be fine. But we're genuinely in danger here of going out of the Pokal at the first round. That's a bit of a worry. Just a tad of a worry. And it's half-time extra time. We'll just skip forward to the second half. Hopefully we can get a late goal. Because if it ends 1-1, that's a little bit embarrassing. But Forsberg, Kate, is it going to be a useless highlight? Probably is. Grucic. Campbell puts forward to Paulson. Oh, it's a penalty. Is that Borna? I'm making sure not to say the wrong thing here. But Borna takes him down, and Marcel Halstenberg will take the penalty. Will we score it is the question. Halstenberg begins his run-up, and it is scored. Nice one. Very nice goal for RASENBALLSPORT Leipzig, something like that. Because it's meant to be Red Bull Leipzig, but then it's all sponsorship and all that nonsense. So yeah, it's RASENBALLSPORT Leipzig, which is going to be quite, I'm just going to call them RB Leipzig. I don't fancy calling them RASENBALLSPORT much. And there we go. Dayot has scored his first goal of the season as well. There we go, RASENBALLSPORT Leipzig. The 18-year-old, looking really good actually for his age. I think he's a French centre-back. He's already 2 stars and he's got the potential to go up to about 3.5. So that's really good. And I think we'll utilise him in this. Yeah, you just got to bear in mind, of course, it's a big squad. But we are going to have any injuries this season inevitably, so we are going to have to call on a lot of players. And there might be a bit more movement in terms of transfers before the transfer window is out, because we might want to get rid of some of the players. We can't keep the squad exactly the same, because at the end of the day, that's a bit boring then, isn't it? And some of the players just might not fit how we play. And there we go, we've won 3-1 against Arminia Bielefeld. And they did put up a good fight, to be honest, but in the end it seems we were a little bit too good for them. And that's a good game to start off this series. In the Liverpool one, we drew 1-1 to Watford. But there we go. No one will be happier than the Leipzig fans today. And there we go. I'm very happy with the result. Obviously not happy with the way we played before 90 minutes. But there we go. Campbell, top of the pops for RB Leipzig. The 26-year-old winger. He can play in midfield. He can also play as a winger. He's quite versatile and a 4-star player. So really someone we've got to utilise in this. And we've got 124,000. That's all nice. And actually he's made his debut. So where has he joined from? He's joined from Leverkusen for 17.5 million. He's been about, to be honest. He started at Leverkusen and went full circle back to Leverkusen. But he was at Red Bull Salzburg at one point. But there we go. But we'll do all the press conferences and all that. And we'll be back in just a second for the Hoffenheim game. We are back then for the Hoffenheim game. I just checked online, by the way, and Dominic Kaiser is the real captain in real life. So I don't know why it's Philly Orban in game. Very peculiar. But Dominic Kaiser might be someone that we look to get rid of, because he's only 2.5 stars. Well, 3 stars on here. It doesn't really matter. But I guess we can start him today in front of the young chap, which is, there we go, Conrad Lima. And what's he like to play? As a roaming playmaker or a... that's fine with me. We'll just go back on the tactics screen to make sure that goes green. That is a glitch in the game, by the way. That is annoying. But anyway, let's get straight into this Hoffenheim game. Funnily enough, I'll just keep mentioning Liverpool. It's brilliant. Hoffenheim's last game was against Liverpool, and actually Hoffenheim beat them 2-0. So that's quite a shock. Any players I recommend recognising this squad? I've got Andrej Kramaric, He used to play for Leicester. Anybody else? I don't think so. They're playing a 5-2-1-2. We pretty much kept the same lineup from last time, just the one change with Lima going out for Dominic Kaiser. And yeah, let's, there we go. They're all working out. I'll put the TV highlights on in just a second. We want goal action as well. But there we go, we'll put 2D Classic on. All very good. So it's the start of the Bundesliga season today. Obviously, after the 3-1 win, we're in positive spirits. But that could come crashing down on us quite imminently. It's quite a tough start, actually, to the league, because Hoffenheim are a good team. I don't know much about them, but they are a team that I think regularly feature in the top half of the table, at least. Hertha BSC played against Leverkusen last night, and they actually beat Leverkusen, which is quite a surprising result in my book. But we've got a highlight here, 12 minutes in, Schmitz passes to Campbell, making his league debut actually today. The captain, technically Kaiser, that is all banned though now. Keita, lovely dribbling, passes to Hastenberg on the wing and puts it in, but Timo Werner can't quite get to it. I feel like this squad probably needs 2 strikers, because Werner is going to struggle to get goals by himself up there, just feel like that. Anyway, Campbell passes it to Schmitz. Schmitz to Campbell, put it into the box, nothing coming of it just yet. Schmitz back to Campbell again, really good to see the pressure being put on Kaiser to Ilsanker, and it's a goal for Stefan Ilsanker. Fantastic goal, what an assist by Dominic Kaiser that was, and what a start to the Bundesliga season, fantastic. So Campbell loses the ball to Vott, he puts it out to Schmitz, Campbell gets the ball back again, and then passes to Kaiser, who then passes it to Stefan Ilsanker, and it's a lovely goal, and that easily gets past Bowerman to go into the back of the net. Northfight I recognise as well. Is that the one who used to play for West Ham? It might well be. I think it is. He played centre mid as well, I think. Can't quite remember, but I think that is the right chap. But anyway, they've got a highlight now. So Karen, is it Karen, really? Wow, but Kaiser gets it back. Fantastic job he's done today. I'm glad I've picked him. But Timo Werner, who is the sick favourite to get top goal scorer in the league, which is quite interesting. Anyway, Ilsanker, Forsberg, apparently that's a clean tackle. Well, Nagelsmann, that is quite well interpreted in game. Nagelsmann, I do remember him doing an interview before the Liverpool match. It's Kerem, not Karen, what am I on about? But off his few on goal, and it's 1-1, brilliant. But I remember he did an interview before the Liverpool game in real life saying that he didn't want, you know, any slide tackling. It's ridiculous. Any dirty tackling, you know, tackles should be clean. And that's kind of my philosophy as well. In my Liverpool save, we are the cleanest team, I believe, in the season. The lowest amount of fouls and cards awarding. For Timo Horn's debut game in the Bundesliga, that is quite a terrible attempt, to be quite honest, at saving a goal and saving a shot, rather. But it's 1-1 here at the, I don't even know what the stadium's called, it's terrible. Why are we getting loads of highlights? This is really annoying me. Right, let's sort this out. We're getting highlights for every single thing. It's really getting on my nerves. Replay events, goals, but, okay, that's bizarre. We'll see if it changes, but anyway, Halstenberg, we've got a highlight here. Timo Werner, Campbell, that was a poor pass, Timo. Off on the ball, pass to Kramaric, and he has a shot. And to be quite honest, this isn't really good enough. We're not really getting enough service of Werner, and I don't think Werner's playing very well anyway. So I think we'll change the formation up a little bit at half-time and see what happens after that. But I guess a draw won't be too bad in the league, but I don't want to lose this first game, which we could well do. Vott puts it into Schultz, and Timo Horn does get that out to a degree, if I can get my words out, but he's not been too brilliant in this game, which is a bit disappointing. He wants to play as a sweeper keeper, which I don't quite get. We'll try and mould him into a goalkeeper. I don't want him to be a sweeper keeper at all. At the end of the day, he's going to be here for the long haul, so I want to make sure he's moulded into a player we want him to be. But they've got another attack now. Kramaric, Amiri. This is disappointing from Leipzig. Schultz puts it in, and Timo Horn does get that, collects the ball, and that should be half-time unless we've got more in this highlight. We have got more in this highlight. Campbell, no, we lose the ball again. Kramaric, Orban gets it back, nice. Campbell puts it up to Werner, lovely ball to Timo Werner. Can he put it into a number 13, number 8, maybe Werner? Put it into the box for Naby Keita. 2-1 for RB Leipzig on the spot. No, it's not the spot, was it? On the edge of half-time, that's the one. I was close, not really. But Campbell, lovely ball from Campbell. Effectively swapping roles with Timo Werner there, nice to see. And Werner could also play on the wing as well. And Werner put it into Naby Keita, who finished it off. Lovely finish. And that just changes my half-time team talk slightly. But I will change the formation because they've only had 38% possession. And they are arguably the better team at the moment. So that's disappointing me a little bit. That's just what I'm seeing from the highlights, of course. But, yeah, well, things are going well. But I know they're capable of better. You know, they look good so far. But let's play with a 4-2-2 formation instead now. Oh, it's tricky which one to bring off, you know. Kaiser's quite tired. Oh, this is tricky, actually. Which one do we bring off? We could play a 4-2-3-1, couldn't we, I guess? If one of those players are suited to that role. We'll just do a bit of tactical tinkering at half-time here. Naby can play as a attacking midfielder, can he? Not too well. Can Kaiser play the role a bit better? Yeah, he can play the role a bit better. He can be a shadow striker, that's fine for me. And Ilsanker can go that back then to a ball midfielder on support. But actually, no, he wants to play a 4-2-2, didn't we? We wanted to play 2 strikers, that was the whole idea. Stupid me. Oh, this is tricky. We will take Kaiser off for now. And then he can come back in future games. I really don't mind that, that's fine. We'll bring off Yusuf Poulsen for Kaiser. I hope that's a move that's worth making. I really hope it is. And Timo Werner as an advanced forward with Poulsen as a target man on support. I don't want him playing as a defensive forward whatsoever. Really doesn't work in my way of playing. But just the one substitution then at half-time, but we changed the formation quite drastically. Hopefully this should work just as well as the previous was working. And there we go. We're going to go with a fluid formation rather than flexible. And it'd be nice to close out this game and get 2 wins in the first episode as Leipzig manager. If you are enjoying this, make sure to leave it a like. That'd be brilliant. And yeah, subscribe if you are new for all the future episodes to be notified of in your sub boxes. But Poulsen puts to Werner, Ilsanker. It's a bit of an attack for us here, but it's a bit scrappy. Ilsanker, Keita, Campbell. Oh, lose the ball again. Schmitz puts to Poulsen, back to Schmitz. And that was very nearly a goal. Nordveit puts it out. Do we have any more attack? No, we don't. But I think you can hit the bell or something by the subscribe button, and then you get proper notifications as to when every single video comes out. So you don't, you know, if the sub boxes are broke for some reason, you still get notifications for my videos, which is perfect. I mean, if you are enjoying, and obviously you enjoy the content, it'd only be logical to get some notifications when my content comes out, because then you can watch it straight away, give it a nice big fat like, and leave a comment if you're feeling nice. But I will reply to all the comments you guys put. If you want to put a comment just saying hello, I will put hello back. But don't take the mick with it, folks. But you know exactly what I mean. But anyway, we've got another highlight here. Campbell. Oh, we've lost the ball. That was a brilliant pass. Well done. Right, Uff. Schultz puts to Kerem Demirbay. A lovely ball from from Dayot. And Werner doesn't finish it off. He really should have scored that. Werner not been good enough so far. Even though he has got an assist. That's the only real sort of good he's done in this game. That Dayot, I'm going to have to start pronouncing that, but Dayo has had a brilliant game so far. But the strikes on the other end have been atrocious. Poulsen's just missed a sitter. Werner missed a sitter, and that is quite worrying. But we are dominating the game in this second half. But it could really come back to bite us if they get a goal. But a nice interception from Poulsen, but doesn't really go anywhere, that ball doesn't. But oh, they've made a mistake. Ilsanker, Poulsen, does he put it through for Werner? Not quite. Ilsanker puts it through for Werner, though. Can Werner get a goal to prove me wrong? Werner, side netting only. Apparently it was brilliant, but it wasn't kind of been that brilliant if there wasn't a goal at the end of it. You could say we've been unlucky so far, but we've really dominated this game, which is really pleasing to see. It looks like Bayern Munich play a bit later, as well as Dortmund, so the 2 big teams are playing later. But at the top of the table at the moment, we have got, if we actually go, Stuttgart at the top of the table at the moment, which is nice to see. But just to get a win on the table would be really nice to start the season. We've got Augsburg as well in the next game, and I think we'll probably come back for the, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. This could be catastrophic. Schultz puts it in. Oh, side netted only. We're going to have to go counter-attacking just to make sure we don't concede a goal and round out the win. We've been recording for 10 minutes here, so probably about a 25-minute video, if that's alright with you folks. Let me know down in the comments as well if you get that. Oh dear, Orban, nasty tackle there. I think he was just pushed, to be fair. But let me know what your preferred video length is, and then I can tweak it. Oh, I thought that was in, but it was offside, luckily. But I can tweak the video lengths to however long you want them to be. But we get 3 points today in our first game as Leipzig manager in the league, which is really good. Not, I was going to say interesting, but I suppose it is interesting, I guess. But a vintage display ensures that we win today. When are we going to come back then? We're going to come back for the first game of the Champions League group stage. Obviously, we don't know who that's going to be yet. And then we'll play the Stuttgart games. And, yeah, Stuttgart obviously top of the league at the moment. So if you look at the competitions, we're in the second round of the Pokal. The Leipzig group stage draw hasn't been done yet. But our expectation is to qualify for the Champions League, be inside the top 4, a little bit like the Premier League, in the way that works. Go back on my ugly mug then. So I've been TIJ. I really hope you've enjoyed this first episode of the RB Leipzig crew. If you know someone else who might enjoy this career mode, make sure to copy the link, which will be up there. Send it to your friend, your mum, or your dad, or your granddad if you really want to. I don't really care. But anyway, I've been TIJ. Hope you've enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new to the channel and like the video if you enjoyed it too. And I'll see you guys tomorrow at 4 PM for the second episode. Thank you very much for watching. This is the first episode, the pilot episode. And I'll see you tomorrow when we really get into the nitty-gritty of it with the Champions League and the Bundesliga. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye.